Thank you, Madam Chair. I've been in and out of this hearing, but I heard the opening statements and listened to a good deal of the questioning of this morning. And I will tell you that if there's one thing that I hope those leading these very important energy companies and the Petroleum Institute understand, is that you've kind of got yourself here, you've seen the attitude, you've heard the attitude from the folks to the left in this committee. It's because of your appeasement. That's what it is. So when you get asked this morning about, aren't you embarrassed? That's really kind of an irrational question to ask CEOs about their company policy. To ask and to vilify you and basically say, will you repudiate your membership in a manufacturing institute, to then say and repeatedly ask the question and to badger you. That's because you have been appeasing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do your best to reduce carbon emissions and run a clean company. I'm saying that you've been brought here so they could beat the crap out of you. That's what this is all about. And they're doing it for a political reason. And that's the shame of it all. This is a hearing where the Democrats attack American workers and the private sector. The President and his allies in Congress have consistently advocated for policies that have led to higher energy prices and increased inflation. In fact, though, you've got Ron Klain retweeting this. He's the chief of staff at the White House saying, most of the economic problems we're facing, inflation, etc., are high-class problems. Well, even the New York Times has said this year's Thanksgiving feast will wallop the wallet, and that's a result of Biden's policies, and part of those policies are to put the screws on the energy industry. Some of the inflation is systemic, but some of it is driven by scarcity, just economic, market-driven principles. So I hope you get the lesson, because if nothing else I say matters, I think you need to know something. These folks would regulate you right out of business tomorrow if they could. Don't pretend otherwise. No matter how good a corporate citizen you are or how sincere you are in trying to reduce carbon emissions. That's the purpose of this hearing today, to lay the foundation to get rid of you. And at the same time, you see the hypocrisy or inconsistency of this administration. Here's one dated today, this very morning. You've got Amos Hochstein, the U.S. State Department Senior Advisor for Energy Security, saying energy producers, particularly OPEC, should be increasing its output. Here's one from 2 weeks ago. U.S. worried energy supply is not meeting demand. That is where we're headed in the future. What you do is important. Never forget it's important. At the same time, you got the Biden administration issuing new oil and gas leases for drilling on federal land, canceling the Keystone Pipeline within hours of taking office, and then removing sanctions on Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline, increasing Europe's dependence on Russian oil. We hear this from Mikhail Kruchikin, an energy analyst at the consultancy RusEnergy, saying, quote, we decided we'll let them freeze a good bit this winter, and then they'll become more talkative and won't insist on quickly abandoning gas. The stakes are very high. This is a high-stakes game. The Russians get it. You get it. My colleagues across the aisle don't get it. Congressional Democrats' proposals for fixing the problem they caused are worse than President Biden's. Their tax and spend budget reconciliation bill will increase energy prices and cripple the American economy. With gas prices at a 7-year high, Democrats in Congress are considering enacting a carbon tax to pay for their socialist policies. They love to tout their support of the Green New Deal, claiming that it is the only way to fight climate change. However, it excludes nuclear energy, despite the fact that nuclear energy is carbon-free, low-cost, and is a reliable energy source. A Democrat member's former chief of staff, Saikat Chakrabarty, stated, quote, the interesting thing about the Green New Deal is it wasn't originally a climate change thing at all, because we really think of it as a how do you change the entire economy thing, close quote. He told the truth. Occasionally you're going to get that out. I urge you, continue being good corporate citizens, but understand, appeasement will lead to the demise of your industry and your company, which will result in thousands and hundreds of thousands of people losing work and living in poverty in an impoverished state. And Madam Chair, I have a number of articles I would like to submit for the record.
Without objection.
I have one called Oil Eases with U.S. urging producers to ramp up supplies, dated today's date. I have one dated from Reuters, dated October 7th. U.S. worried energy supply not meeting demand, top Biden advisor says. Then I have additional ones. Let's see here. We got, as Europe faces a cold winter, Putin seizes on the leverage from Russia's gas output, from the New York Times, dated yesterday.
The gentleman's time has expired. We will submit all the articles you would like into the record.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it.